Okay, good afternoon. My name is Stephen Bedford. My other group members will introduce themselves during their piece of the presentation, and our senior project is on a production field setup. Our project manager is Logan Rayburn, who is a production engineer, and he had graduated from LSU a couple of years ago. One thing I would like to note before we begin the presentation is that due to confidentiality reasons, we will not be mentioning the specific company name or the exact location or specific well names. They will be generic names. Okay, so our project description, we have a Louisiana Oil Company, again generic name, plans to drill 6 wells near Alexandria, Louisiana. 5 of the wells will produce natural gas. 1 well will produce oil and gas. The gas wells will produce approximately 97% methane, and 2 of the wells will have one interest owner, while the rest will have different interest owners.
Hello, I'm Huner and I will explain this page of our presentation. What you see is the aerial view of our wells and production facility. The Crooks well, well number 1, is already drilled and we will drill 5 more wells. The long red line represents the projected pipeline that connects Crooks well to our meter station. The red, the red rectangle area represents the no access zone due to its high environmental risks. Therefore, we have to go around it in order to connect our wells to our meter station.
Hi, my name is Devin King, and I'll be giving a brief description on what our job is to do for this project. Our job is to price out full development of the field and equipment, that being separators and saltwater tanks, decide the best routes for natural gas pipeline to the meter station, look at how to connect roads to well locations, properly design pipeline to the meter station, and also to check for all environmental hazards and ensure that all environmental regulations are followed. We will also need to ensure that all leases are signed before drilling operations, check for permits for all operations, determine the best way to handle produced water, analyze the economic value of the project, and finally construct a decline curve analysis of each well, assuming that they produce at 5,000 cubic feet a day.
Hello, my name is Azin Luis, and now I'm going to talk about how we are going to proceed with our project. To proceed, we are planning to get few well logs from the location of interest to have a better understanding of geological structures and be able to check for all environmental issues. Use subsurface mapping to determine exact location of wells. Use our knowledge in petroleum economics and drilling to calculate all the costs associated with our project. Also use our knowledge in petroleum economics to check for all rules and regulations related to this project. Furthermore, use our knowledge in reservoir dynamics to maximize project and find the best way to deal with the produced water. Project timeline. The project timeline is kind of a rough estimate, so we expect like the wells to be drilled and completed approximately 30 days each, but this number is going to change as our project is going to continue. So we kind of guesstimate that we are going to start our project in January 1st, 2016, and we are going to analyze drilling and completion costs in October 14, 2015. Design economical feasible plan for pipeline, that's going to happen in October 28, 2015. Economic analysis of production, that's going to be November 18, 2015. And project completion, we are not sure about that. That's going to be determined. Budget summary. Basically, our project is to calculate all the costs associated with drilling these 6 wells. So this is going to be very rough estimate. We don't really know. We can't give you exact numbers. This number going to change, but we just estimate that we have a rough estimate of what is going to be the cost. So like for drilling and completion, we think it's gonna be $20 million. For production surface equipment, we think it's gonna be $300,000. Pipeline construction, $4,800,000, and road construction and site clearing about $500,000, which when we added the total is gonna be $25,600,000, and this is the rough estimate of how much it's gonna be.
Hello, my name is Jill Tara. I'm going to talk about the constraint that we're going to face during this project. Since we only have one rig available for this project, we can only drill one well at a time, and we need to make sure that production surface equipment are properly installed, as well as the pipeline construction, so we can start production as soon as we're done with the drilling process. Effectively plan the logistics of the completion and the construction crews to minimize standby time and begin production as soon as possible. The risks associated to the project. There are some risks associated with this project from economic, standby, and environmental standpoint, such as injuries to workers, damage to surface equipment, as well as environmental damage that will increase the costs calculated. So we need to ensure that all workers are properly trained and supervised in HCS compliance at all time. The last thing is gas has a tendency to leak, so we need to make sure that all pipelines are constructed properly and there's no leak or risk of fire. Gas also has a risk of explosion, so we need to follow proper steps during drilling to control the hydrostatic pressure at all time. Okay, for the conclusion, we need to spruce Prospects 2 by January 2016. Before we begin drilling, we need to have analysis of the cost of the drilling and completion of the well. We also need to design an economically feasible plan for the pipeline design. This will include handling permit and land use. Finally, we need to analyze what we expect to produce from each well and determine the overall economic visibility of the project.